Time, it's the one resource every man gets for free, yet most waste without realizing its value until it's too late. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose relationships and build new ones. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. And the harsh truth? No man who disrespects his time will ever master his life. In this video, you'll discover how to master your time like a warrior, like a king, like a man who values every moment as if it were his last. We're diving into the mindset, the systems, and the deep-rooted habits that shape powerful men across history. From the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius to the hard lessons of modern discipline, this is the ultimate guide to time management, built not for comfort, but for greatness. Whether you're a young man trying to build your future, or someone realizing that too many hours have already slipped away, this guide is here to awaken your awareness, sharpen your focus, and ignite a transformation in how you see time itself. As Benjamin Franklin once said, "Do not squander time, for that's the stuff life is made of." The men who respect time are the ones who lead, build, and leave a legacy. The rest, they follow, drift, and regret. So let's change that today. Make time your ally, not your enemy. If you're serious about becoming the man you were born to be, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and drop a comment below about what part of your life needs the most time discipline right now. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Time is not just passing. It's being spent. Every second that ticks away, but it isn't just disappearing into the air, it's being spent like currency. The only difference between you and the most successful men in history isn't the number of hours in your day, it's how each of you chooses to spend those hours. Let's be clear, time is not a river flowing endlessly, it's a vault, and once it's empty, there are no refills. Think about how you spend an average day. How many hours go into mindless scrolling, chasing distractions, or reacting to life instead of leading it? Most men live like they'll get a second life to finally do what matters. But you won't. Your time is your life. Waste your time, and you waste yourself. Let's borrow from ancient Stoic wisdom for a moment. Seneca, the Roman philosopher, once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Let that sink in. We always say, "I don't have enough time." The truth is, we're just not using it right. If you knew that each day you were given $86,400, but anything you didn't spend would vanish at midnight, would you waste it? You'd be intentional. You'd plan, you'd prioritize. You'd invest it in things that matter. Well, you are given 86,400 seconds every single day. The only question is, how are you spending them? Why most men lose their time without realizing it? One of the biggest reasons men lose their time is because they live in reaction mode. Wake up late, respond to messages, put out fires, go with the flow. They mistake movement for progress. Just because your schedule is full doesn't mean your life is moving forward. Let me give you an example. Imagine a man named Kevin. He's 32. He works a 9-to-5 job, has a side hustle idea that he never starts, and says he's too tired every night to do anything about it. But what Kevin doesn't realize is that his time is being hijacked by habits he's not even aware of. He wakes up and grabs his phone. That's 20 minutes gone. He takes too long to get ready. That's another 30. His commute isn't planned, so he's stressed before work even starts. At the end of the day, he unwinds by watching Netflix and scrolling through Instagram. Add it up, he's losing 4 to 5 hours per day, which equals 20 to 30 hours a week. Over a year, that's more than 1,000 hours, enough to write a book, build a business, learn a new skill, or change his life entirely. Kevin isn't lazy, he's just unaware of how time is leaking from his life. And that's the case for many men. You don't lose time in big chunks, you lose it in small, forgettable decisions. Here's the truth, you can't manage what you don't measure. Most men never track how they spend their time. If you want to take control, the first step is to become radically aware of where your hours are going. Start by tracking your day, not in your head. Write it down. For 1 week, document how you spend your time in 30-minute blocks. You'll be shocked. You'll realize you're giving away precious time to things that give you nothing in return. Time mastery begins not with control, but with clarity. And once you have clarity, you can begin to design your day like an architect, not live it like a leaf blown by the wind. How to shift from reaction to intention. Now that you're aware of the leaks, it's time to plug them. That starts with shifting from reaction mode to intention mode. Here's a powerful technique used by high-performing men: time blocking. This means you schedule your day in blocks of focused time to not just tasks. So instead of saying, "I'll work on my side hustle when I can," you say, "From 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. every evening, I'm building my business." You're not just making a to-do list, you're building a battle plan. You don't leave your time up to chance, because you already know the world will pull at you with distractions. Be ruthless with your time. Say no to the unimportant so you can say yes to what matters. Every yes is a no to something else. Your life is the sum of how you spend your hours. Let's bring it home. Look around at your life, your fitness, your finances, your relationships, your skills. They are the result of how you've spent your time over the past few months and years. If you don't like the results, don't blame time. Time didn't fail you, you failed to use it. But that's the beauty of this moment. It's a new starting point. The most successful men are not the busiest. They're the most intentional. You don't need to add more hours. You need to become more powerful in how you use them. Your legacy, your future, your peace of mind, they all begin with mastering this moment. Drop a comment below. What's one small but consistent way you've been wasting your time? And what are you going to do today to reclaim it? Let your insight encourage another man who's ready to change. Chapter 2. The Warrior's Discipline. Build a time system that fights for you. Discipline isn't about restriction. It's about liberation. It frees you from chaos, from regret, from waking up at 40, wondering where your life went. And time discipline is one of the rare forms of self-respect that pays off in clarity, confidence, and control. Let's start here. A man who masters his schedule masters his destiny. Look around at the most grounded, composed men you admire. They aren't busier than the average man. They're more deliberate. They treat their calendar like a sacred document, not a suggestion box. They've built a time system that works for them, not against them. You can either let your time happen to you, or you can build a framework that makes every hour count toward the man you want to become. The ancients didn't have Google calendars, but they mastered their days through rituals. In ancient Rome, Stoics like Marcus Aurelius began their days with a morning reflection. He wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." That wasn't poetry. It was mental preparation, a ritual. It set the tone for how he'd use his day long before anyone else could influence it. And in Japan, samurai warriors followed Kaizen, the path of continuous, incremental improvement built through ritualized discipline. Their entire life was governed by structured time blocks for meditation, for sword training, for tea ceremony, for planning. Each moment had a place, and every repetition made them stronger. Modern men have lost that. They live in randomness, wake up at a different time every day, eat whatever's quick, work chaotically, sleep when they crash. No structure equals no power. If you want to build a life with direction, you need to build rituals that align with your purpose. Design your time like a warrior prepares for battle. Let's get practical. Here's how to build a time system like a disciplined warrior. 1. Morning anchor, 1 hour. Your day starts in your mind before it starts in your world. No phone, no scrolling. Instead, wake up with intention. Hydrate, breathe, reflect, plan, read, write. Train your body and your thoughts before the world interrupts you. A morning routine isn't a luxury, it's a foundation. 2. The deep work block, 2 to 4 hours. Identify the most valuable task that moves your life forward and protect that time like it's sacred. No multitasking, no notifications, pure, focused effort. Whether it's building a business, writing, learning, or solving a major problem, your future is being built here. Third movement and reset, 30 minutes. The body fuels the mind. Take a break and move, walk, breathe, reset. Many men burn out not from working too hard, but from never recovering. Fourth, intentional evening, 1 hour. Don't end your day by falling asleep to noise. Wind down with peace. Review your progress, plan tomorrow. Journal your wins and losses, reflect, read, sleep with strategy, not exhaustion. This is not about being robotic, it's about being strategic. When you install these rhythms, you stop wasting energy on decision fatigue and start living with purposeful flow. Most men resist discipline because they think it kills freedom. But here's the paradox. Discipline is the gateway to real freedom. Freedom from stress, freedom from indecision, freedom from regret. Let's use a metaphor. Imagine 2 men on a mountain trail. One is wandering aimlessly, stopping every few steps, unsure which path to take. The other has a map. He knows his destination. Every step has meaning. He's moving with purpose. Which man reaches the summit first? The answer is obvious. Yet so many of us are still walking without a map. Discipline creates your map. It removes the chaos of random choices. It gives you mental space to focus on what really matters. That's not control, that's power. Take Andre, the 28-year-old who used to struggle with anxiety, procrastination, and low self-worth. He always felt like he was falling behind. He thought something was wrong with him, but what Andre lacked wasn't talent, it was structure. He created a simple time system based on what we just outlined. Within 3 months, he built a profitable online business. He started reading 1 book a week. He lost 15 pounds. He reconnected with his father. Why? Because he stopped waking up hoping for a better day and started commanding his time like a leader. Your life changes fast when you take control of how you spend your hours. Discipline equals freedom. Jocko Willink, and if you master your time, you master both. So ask yourself, what kind of man do you become when your time finally starts serving your mission, not draining it? Because that man is waiting for you to show up and build the system. Drop a comment below. What ritual or discipline do you know would change your life, but you've been avoiding? Write it down and let today be the moment you start. Chapter 3. Slay the Inner Thief. Overcoming procrastination and mental drift. There is a silent enemy living inside every man. One that doesn't shout, doesn't fight openly, but steals from you every day. Its name is procrastination. Procrastination is not just laziness, it's fear dressed in comfort. It whispers, later is better, you're not ready yet, just relax for now. But every time you listen, you're giving away your future, one soft excuse at a time. You may delay, but time will not. Benjamin Franklin. Think about that. Time is merciless. It doesn't care if you're tired, unmotivated, or distracted. It just keeps moving, while you're still standing still. Why men procrastinate. The real root. Cause procrastination is not the cause of your struggle, it's a symptom. The real cause? It's often fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear that your work won't be perfect, fear that you're not good enough. Sometimes it's perfectionism disguised as patience. You keep telling yourself, I'll start when the conditions are just right. But the truth is, perfect conditions never come. The winds won't always be in your favor. That's why great men sail anyway. And here's the trap. Procrastination creates temporary relief but permanent regret. It feels good in the moment to avoid the hard thing, but that avoidance piles up like mental debt. Eventually you drown in guilt, self-doubt, and lost potential. You start believing you're a failure, not because you tried and failed, but because you never started at all. The ancient Stoics had a powerful belief. The cure to fear is action. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When fear shows up, Don't fight it with more thinking. Fight it with doing. When your mind says later, your body must say now. Build a pattern of decisive action, even in discomfort. Discipline is not about always being motivated. It's about honoring your values, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Or the 2-minute rule: slay the resistance. There's a simple method used by top performers to kill procrastination before it grows. It's called the 2-minute rule. It goes like this. If a task will take less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. If it's a bigger task, start the first 2 minutes, no matter what. Why? Because starting is the hardest part. Once you begin, momentum takes over. Want to write a book? Just write the first sentence. Need to work out? Just put on your gym clothes and do the warm-up. Need to clean? Start with just one drawer. This rule tricks your brain past resistance. It tells your inner saboteur, I'm already in motion. You're too late. Small beginnings are the birthplace of massive change. Every time you take action despite your hesitation, you're not just completing a task, you're casting a vote for the kind of man you're becoming. I don't feel like doing it becomes, I do it anyway. I'm not ready becomes, I'll grow as I go. I don't have time becomes, I'll make time because this matters. When you shift your identity from a reactor to a creator, everything changes. Time becomes a weapon, not a weight. Let me give you a real example. Derek was 35, talented, smart, but he'd been getting ready to launch his coaching business for 4 years. 4. Every year he said, this is the year I launch. But fear and perfectionism always dragged him back into delay. Until one day, he tried something different. He gave himself 30 minutes, just one focused block. He wrote his first post, then another. Then he recorded a short video. He didn't aim for perfect, he aimed for progress. 6 months later, his business was live, clients were coming in, and the dream he thought needed more preparation just needed courage to start. Action changed his story. Here's a truth most men never learn. Feelings follow action. Not the other way around. You don't wait until you're confident to start. You build confidence by starting. You don't wait until motivation shows up. You move first, and motivation follows. So many men lose years waiting to feel right. They confuse temporary feelings with permanent facts. But mastery belongs to the man who moves, regardless of emotion. The man who says, even if I'm tired, even if I'm scared, I'll show up anyway. Because that man, over time, becomes unstoppable. Procrastination is the thief of manhood. Let's make this real. Every time you procrastinate, you're training your brain to distrust yourself. You're saying, I don't keep my word, I don't take action, I don't follow through. That belief becomes your identity, and that identity becomes your prison. But every time you push through and act, even if imperfectly, you build a new voice inside. A voice that says, I move, I lead, I show up. The cost of procrastination isn't just unfinished tasks, it's an unlived life. Drop a comment below. What's one major thing you've been putting off? And what's one small step you can take toward it today? Your answer could be the beginning of a breakthrough. Chapter 4. Own the clock. Build a legacy with every hour you live. Let's be honest. The goal of time mastery isn't just about getting more done. It's about becoming more focused, more capable, more aligned with your purpose. Because in the end, the man who respects his time builds a life that demands respect. Don't count the days, make the days count. Muhammad Ali. Your time is your life in motion. It's the invisible thread connecting your habits, your character, your values, and your legacy. Wasting it doesn't just cost you productivity, it costs you your potential. Your life is a collection of used time. Think of it like this. Every year is 365 blank pages. Every day you write a line. What are you writing? Are you telling a story of focus, purpose, and growth? Or one of distraction, delay, and regret? You don't get to stop the clock, but you do get to decide what story you tell with it. In the ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead, when a man reached the afterlife, he was asked two questions. 1. Did you find joy in your life? 2. Did your life bring joy to others? And behind both of those questions is how you spent your time. The joyful man is not the one who avoided effort, but the one who lived intentionally, who showed up every day and gave life his full presence. The man who plans ahead rules ahead. Look, life will throw chaos at you. Unexpected news, people needing your time, shifting goals. But the man who has mapped his direction isn't thrown off course, he adapts without losing his vision. Planning isn't rigidity, it's strategic freedom. He who fails to plan, plans to fail. Benjamin Franklin. Here's how top performers, ancient and modern, treat time. They review their week before it begins. They schedule what matters, not just what's urgent. They say no more than they say yes. They delegate distractions and focus on their zone of genius. They live by principles, not pressure. This is how a man builds a life that reflects his values, not one that reacts to everything thrown at him. Guard your time. Like a king guards his throne. Let's break something down. You wouldn't let someone walk into your house, take your money, eat your food, and destroy your plans, right? But that's exactly what happens every time you let someone waste your time. Time thieves come in many forms: endless scrolling, unnecessary meetings, drama-filled people, distractions disguised as urgent, your own untrained habits. You have to draw boundaries, not because you're selfish more, but because your mission matters. When you guard your time, you're not being rude. You're being responsible. You're saying, my energy is valuable, my focus is sacred, my vision is non-negotiable. That's what men of purpose do. They protect their time the way warriors protect their sword, because they know without it, they cannot fight. Let me tell you about Ray. He was 40, working a 9-to-5 with 2 kids and a wife. Life wasn't terrible, but he felt like it was passing him by. Every day felt like survival. Wake up, work, commute, eat, sleep, repeat. No vision, no fire, just routine. One day, he looked at his son and realized something. I'm not teaching him how to live. I'm teaching him how to exist. That hit hard, so Ray did something simple but powerful. He began waking up 1 hour earlier, just for himself. He journaled, planned, worked on a dream project, learned new skills. Bit by bit, his energy came back. His mind got sharper. He got promoted, started side hustles, took his family on trips, laughed more. What changed? Not the number of hours in a day, but how he used them. Ray stopped just living time and started owning it. You can no longer afford to live passively. The world doesn't reward the distracted man. It rewards the intentional man. The man who asks himself, what am I building with my time? Who am I becoming every day I wake up? Will I be proud of how I spent this year? Or will I regret the hours I gave away? Because time isn't just something you manage, it's something you master. And the moment you stop treating your time like a burden and start treating it like your most precious weapon, everything shifts. Time is what we want most, but what we use worst. William Penn. Don't just want more time. Want more meaning in the time you already have, because when a man masters his time, he masters his future. Drop a comment below. If you had 1 hour every day to rebuild your life, what would you do with it? And who would you become? Let your answer inspire someone who's ready to rise with you.